What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for an emergency stream for you guys as the news has been doing the rounds that Enic are pumping injecting money into the club. A large sum of money. The sum is being touted as 150 million compared to the last 10 years, which has only been 15 million. Obviously, we've been very vocal on Enic and the stance that we've taken, and quite rightly so in my opinion, and this is exactly what all the Enic outlaw have been wanting. Enic to plough money back into the club, especially now more than ever with Antonio Conte at the helm at such a pivotal time at the club, where the club being at a real crossroads, because it's literally, you could go one of two ways. You back Conte, you go for success. You don't back Conte, you're in literally obscurity. So I think this is the right time. It's an amazing time for it to happen, and I would love to hear what you guys think of the whole situation. But before we do that, let's have a little chat about it. Let's go through the statement as well and see what's actually been said, and see what we think about it.
Yeah, so Spurs released a statement at about 2:05 this afternoon in what was shocking to a lot of Tottenham fans. It kind of came out of the blue. Obviously, as we, there's been a lot of talk after the season with a lot of the journalists saying that Spurs will back Conte, but now it seems that there's proof in the pudding. So if we read the statement, it says Tottenham Limited has today, Tuesday, 24th of May, 2022, agreed a capital increase of up to 150 million from majority shareholder Enic Sports via the issue of convertible A shares and accompanying warrants. The equity injection provides the Premier League club with greater financial flexibility and the ability to further invest on and off the pitch. The investment represents permanent capital with no ongoing interest cost to the club, which may be drawn in tranches until the end of the year. The club's independent directors have benefited from its majority shareholders' ability to invest directly, swiftly, and without extensive due diligence and the documentation involved in third-party funding. Under the agreed structure, the A shares can be converted into ordinary shares. The number of ordinary shares granted to Enic as a result of the capital increase will vary depending on when A ordinary shares are converted, when the warrants are exercised, and valuations at the time. If drawn in full and based on assumptions regarding the above, Enic's ownership of the club could see an increase from its current level of 85.6% to circa 87.5% on conversion. Any dilutive impact is dependent on the number of shares granted and will be shared by all shareholders proportionally and principally by Enic and the majority shareholder. Enic acquired a controlling stake in the club in 2001. The club's strategy has been to deliver world-class facilities and increased diversified revenue to support on-pitch performance while at the same time maintaining long-term financial stability. Daniel Levy goes on to say that delivery of a world-class stadium of a world-class home was always a key building block in driving diversified revenues to enable us to invest in the team and support our ambition to be consistently competing at the highest of levels of European football. Additional capital from Enic will now enable further investment in the club at an important time. There was one bit of the statement which Sean Butler, who I was talking to on WhatsApp, he brought up. I'm not sure. This is what he is led to believe on it. He says that this line in the statement saying that where is it? Let me get it. Which benefited. It says the investment represents permanent capital with no ongoing interest cost to the club, and which may be drawn in tranches until the end of the year. So he reads into that saying that Spurs have to spend that money by the end of the year.
Wow. What happens if we don't?
I'm not sure. Then it goes into like long-term investments or something. I'm not sure. 100% sure what happens if we don't spend it. Let me try to get the message up from what Sean said. But that could be very interesting if that is the case.
It is interesting. A few of the journalists, I mean, Alistair Gold saying the bulk of the 150 million as well as funds from the sales will be ploughed into backing Antonio Conte this coming window. Matt Law has just said that Conte will get the full 150 million should he decide to stay. And Fabrizio Romano as well put quite an interesting update. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. Here we go. It's huge for Tottenham. Club statement announced capital increases of up to 150 million. The equity injection provides Spurs with greater financial flexibility and the ability to further invest on and off the pitch. That's going to be a key move for Antonio Conte's future too. So, I mean, it seems as though this really is going in the right direction, but are we right? We've still got to have a few reservations because how many times have we been stung by this board and Daniel Levy?
Yeah, but they've never done this before.
They have not. Exactly.
This is a first for Enic.
Of course.
As you said, between the years of 2010 and 2020, they only put in 15 million of their own money into the club. And so this is a significant increase on that, and seems like it's a big change in policy. That's what it looks like at the moment. It is important to note that if you're comparing it to what other owners have put in, it's still dwarfed by that. Man City over the last 10 years have put in 1.1 billion. Chelsea have put in over 500 million.
Yeah, but look, we're never gonna compete with oil money. That's just the reality.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's what we need to do. Or I'm not saying that's what we should be demanding. I'm just saying that's the reality of the situation. So us putting in an extra 150 million isn't like we've put in more than other clubs. It's just, but it's definitely a big step in the right direction. And you consider we have that money now. They're going to give to Conte, add the Champions League money, add player sales, add Premier League TV money and stuff like that, and potentially naming rights could be sorted this summer as well. Could lead to a very decent pot for Spurs to spend in the summer. And it's been everyone's been talking about the importance of this summer, having Antonio Conte at the club, and how important it is that not just fans, players are talking about it openly, how Tottenham need to take advantage of this moment and make sure we don't let it go to waste. And with Conte leaving or not backing him properly and stuff like that. And all the noise has been that we're going to do it. And now the signs are there too. So it's very, very positive from Tottenham. And it's definitely an indication that we are serious about backing Conte. We're not just talking about it, we're serious about putting it into action. And maybe this is the start of a new era at Tottenham.
Yeah. We've been waiting for this for a long time. We've been very vocal about stuff like the Super League and the furlough stuff, and every time Levy's trying to penny pinch and not getting deals over the line, and the list goes on really with the bad things that Enic have done at this football club. But it's important to give credit where it's due, and I think right now it looks as though that credit could be due, but I still am waiting to see the signings come through the door and the money to be spent. That's the main thing, isn't it? Because
of course.
You can put 150 million in the club, but it needs to be spent wisely as well.
Of course, and that's that we've been bitten by that before, and that's not necessarily Levy or Enic's fault that we haven't spent the money in the right situations all the time, although they do definitely come under some responsibility when we could have got a player and we went for someone else because said player was too expensive. But you have to say that in over the past 6-7 months, I think maybe with what happened with Nuno not getting Conte in the summer, and the facing the reality of a third season with no Champions League football, with the full stadium intact and stuff like that, maybe they thought they were going about it all the wrong way, because it seemed as though in the summer they wanted a rebuild. They wanted to start a new project, young players, what players they can develop, start with a manager who wasn't as so demanding and stuff like that. And they were going in that direction. But, you know, maybe we were falling so far behind the top clubs. They needed to change, and they need to change it quickly if we were ever going to realistically be in Champions League and for the foreseeable future. And they did that. They brought in Conte. They did exactly what he asked. Well, I don't know about exactly, but they backed him in January to an extent, got 2 players in, and they got the players he wanted out gone, even though maybe in previous years, Levy would have said to Conte, no, I bought this player for 50 million and you're going to try and use him. He didn't do that. He's all right, we'll loan him out. And with Lo Celso. Even Gil, you know, we signed him for big money in the summer, and he loaned him out as well. So we did what Conte asked for in January. And now in the summer, there's been all this talk about how much Conte is demanding and whether we're going to back him. And I was listening to a podcast from Gabriel Marcotti and I think Jules, I can't remember who his surname, and he was saying this is what Conte does at every club. He always is so demanding, and he always has tension between him and the board, because he always tries to give out the impression of an existential battle between him and the board, between him always looking for more ambition and him always looking to push the board as further as possible, and the board always trying to rein him in basically and give him limitations. And I think that's a part of the reason why he's so successful, because he always squeezes as much out of the board as he possibly can to get for his, because he's passionate about his work.
Yeah.
You know, he's passionate about making Tottenham, making his team the best they can be. And that's why it's so important for him to get the tools this summer, so we can push on from a fourth place finish, which is going to be very difficult to push on from if we don't have significant investment. Let's be honest. 4th place, you know, with Chelsea United, Chelsea City, and Liverpool, it's going to be very difficult to improve on next season unless we really invest significantly.
Yeah,
so
it's not just that as well. Like this season, we've had Arsenal breathing down our necks. We're going to have Newcastle with all the money they're going to spend coming up very, very soon as well. So it's a real pivotal time right now. And if we don't do it right now, then we're going to just fall behind. And who knows where this club will be in a few years' time if we didn't invest this summer. This summer is probably the most important summer in a long time, in a very long time.
Yeah, I agree. And look, they've put the money in the club, and that is really, really exciting and really positive. I'm looking forward to what is going to happen now. Obviously, Conte is away at the moment, but let's hope that the money that can be added to the potential kitty that was already there. Apparently this would have happened whether we're in Champions League or Europa League, which makes it even more significant that we got that Champions League.
Absolutely.
Because as much as it would have benefited us in Europa League, it wouldn't have benefited us anywhere nearly as much as the fact that we're in Champions League now, with the revenues that come with that and the pool. And I think maybe players might see that and think, this is a project I want to get involved in. This is a place I want to be. A club who's showing a bit of ambition, who has one of the best managers in the world and in Champions League football. So I want to know people's opinions about this. I want to know what fans have to say about the potential investment, about Enic and the ownership. They've come under a lot of heat, but are we seeing a new era at Tottenham? Is this the start of a new era? Is this as well the start of Enic's vision? Is this what Enic were envisioning when they always were penny pinching and waiting and paying off stadium and all this kind of stuff? And they kept saying, once we get in the full new stadium, there'll be money to spend. Are we finally seeing that? Or is it just a PR stunt? Or, is it smoke and mirrors? Are Enic actually going to invest all that money into players? Do we have the wool pulled over our eyes again? I want to know what people think, because on the face of it, it can't be anything but exciting. But maybe fans can read into it more and have other opinions. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So we're only going to be going till 8 o'clock today. So we're going to have to get through the guests quite quickly. So sorry if you don't get your full amount of time, but we do want to get as many guests on as possible.
And before we get into callers, should we?
Yeah, let's have a look at our T-shirts that we are selling just before we get into callers. We've got these amazing Heung-min Son and Italian Job T-shirts. Link is in the description below if you want to get yours. We have restocked already, but even that is nearly sold out now. So if you want to get yours, link is in the description below. Brilliant T-shirts. So let's get into callers now. And who have we got up first? We have got Marcelo. Come on, first caller, Marcelo. Yes, Marcelo. How you doing, brother? Are you on mute?
Let's go, boys.
Yeah. Yes, go. Let's go.
They finally listened. I think Joe Louis just woke up, bro. He woke up from 2001. You know what I mean? He's like, oh crap! I bought Tottenham Hotspur. Maybe I should spend some money on this. You know what I mean, bro?
When did that happen?
But you know what? If there was ever a time they should spend money, it's now.
Absolutely.
It's now. We got Champions League. We got a world-class manager who's won league titles, who's beaten some of the best managers in the world. And, we got Son and Kane in their prime, at their peak, doing what they're doing. Golden Boot, top assister last season, top goal scorer last season. They're in their peak form. And we got, Kulu Sexy, bro. He's hitting stride. So we got one of the best three in the league. That's plain in fact, bro. Plain in fact. Son is better than Mane. Kane is better, whatever striker Liverpool has. Okay, Salah and Kulu, I'll give it to Salah. But, just wait, bro. He's going to get there. But, this is the right time. This is the perfect time to invest because we got the foundation to build a team that can win some trophies.
Marcelo, we've been stung a lot of times by this board over the years.
Yes.
Are you fully on board with this? Are you very excited about what's happening? Or do you think there's still a case where the wool could be pulled over our eyes here?
I find it very difficult because when have they announced something like this?
Yeah.
And when have they, publicly said, if they announce this and, it's just some like smoke and mirrors, I mean, the backlash that they will get, would be extraordinary. And also, there will be no defense.
Oh, sorry, 1 sec.
Marcelo, 1 second. I think
You've just gone off 1 sec.
What's going on here?
Bugging out.
No, it's on a playlist. I think you've got it on a playlist, Quiver.
Bear with, guys. Just get us back. 1 sec, Marcelo. Just get it
We're
back
getting
on.
you on in 1 second, Marcelo. Just hold tight. Hold tight, man.
Does he come back on? One sec, Marcelo. Bear with.
Well, we don't have time to take. That's the problem. But we're getting you on. I think only we can hear your voice. They can't hear your voice.
All right, you're coming
they can
on.
hear us talking to you, though. So maybe we can tell them what you're saying. We can. All right, you're back on, Marcelo, now. Go on.
Yeah, no. So I was gonna just say real quickly. I don't think they're lying because their whole smoke and mirror, their whole image would fall apart if they lied about this. They never released something like this, and the money has been injected to the club. And also, I don't know where else the money would go to. You know what I mean? If it was to pay off the stadium, they'll never announce that to pay off the stadium.
Another golf course.
Yeah, no. I just don't see it. I don't see why they would announce that and then just lie. There's no advantage. I mean, the only thing I can think is maybe they'll save themselves for this summer, but why save yourself for a summer and ruin yourself for the whole entire window? If they were to not back Conte, they would have just said, look, Conte just demanded too much and we couldn't do it. That's simply as it. You know what I mean? They would not announce this, something so big as this, and lie about it. They just wouldn't. So I don't know. I've been stung many times by this board. I've been hurt. But I think this time we can celebrate, boys. I think this time, and everything that's coming out of Ellie Gould's mouth, everything that's coming out of the journalists' mouths, everything that's coming out of the Tottenham, the people that surround Tottenham, it's all positive. It's all, and Conte is happy. So Conte is happy, everybody's happy, so
So what's now where do you stand now with the current ownership? Do you feel like that we're finally seeing Enic's vision, or is it a bit too early to say that? Because they've always said that once we get into the stadium, there will be money to spend and they will invest it in the team. And is this signs of that happening now, or is it still too early to say?
I would say it's still too early to say, because look, at the end of the day, they've been here for 20 odd years, and they have many of chances to capitalize when we had a foundation to build upon. Remember Pochettino? I'll never forgive them for that. I'll never forgive them for that, for not building on that team. But I will say this: it's a start of a new beginning, and they have a chance to gain back my confidence. And this is a start. If you want to get back, the fans' confidence, the fans' trust, and everything, this is how you do it. This is how you start, man. So for me, it's just a start, and it's a positive start. So on and upwards, boys. We're looking up now. No more looking down, no more looking behind our shoulders. We're looking up. Man City, Liverpool, you better be looking your shoulders, bro, because Don Conte is coming. He's coming with a rap, bro. He's coming with the Lily White Mafia, man. Believe it.
Exactly. Big up, Marcelo. Thanks for coming on, brother, and we'll
Thank
see
you for
you
having
soon.
me. Have a great one.
You too, mate. All right, big hype man Marcelo. Let's move on to our next guest, LA Ian. Ian, how's it going, brother?
What is going on, everybody?
Yeah, happy days, man. I mean, it's a very surprising statement. I didn't expect anything like that when I woke up this morning. Wrap your head around it. What are you thinking?
My thinking is that let's just say if we just got this announcement, like with the Twitter account, like they announced that official club statement, I would actually still have my doubts. But with the combination of, I saw a clip of Ali Gould's video a couple days ago, or last night, or this morning, who knows? He has me convinced. That video, he was saying, this is actually going to happen. If it wasn't for his words, which I trust Ali Gould so much because he's the most reliable insider at Spurs, that I actually believe it. You check my Twitter, it's still up there. I've been a Levy and Enic outer since the Super League. I think it's still, no matter what happens in the future, let's say investments in the summer and January's constantly, and we start winning some trophies, I still think the Super League is unforgivable. And what he did to Jose five days before final, I still think that's unforgivable. But like Marcelo said, it's a new beginning. Let's try and start going on the right path and giving constant investments, not just this one summer 150 million investment, which is a fantastic start, by the way. Let's keep it going. Let's invest in January 2023, and then summer of 2023, and then keep it going. That's where my head is right now. I actually believe it is for Conte. I know it does say in the statement on and off, whatever, which
The pitch, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes me think, maybe there's some sort of, maybe another golf course or something. Who knows? But I do think a majority of that money is going to go to Conte. I do believe that with Ali Gould's words.
Well, Matt Law just tweeted out a few minutes ago saying that he's heard that if Conte does choose to stay, he will have the full 150 million to spend on players for the summer, and that backed up by potential revenue we'll make on maybe player sales and Champions League money. Now, how exciting a summer is this for you now, potentially?
It's, has to be the most exciting summer since I've been a fan. We've had excuses. I maybe wouldn't call them excuses, but we've had precedents that maybe have held us back, such as we didn't have the stadium. Before Kane and Son. Before Kane and Son, we didn't have Kane and Son. Before, we didn't have Conte. But now we have probably the third best manager in the world. We have Kane and Son. We have the stadium. We have immaculate facilities. We have this war chest for the summer. I mean, now there are zero, that means zero excuses. It all comes down now to Paratici. That's all it comes down to now, is if he can make the deals that Conte wants. That's the only thing left. We have the pull. We have Champions League pull. We have coach manager pull. We have fantastic players that you can play with pull. We have stadium pull. We have facilities pull. We have everything. Now it just comes down to the deals. Can Paratici cook? And I have faith. I think he can.
And finally, just before we let you go, barring obviously the very exciting transfer of the summer of Fraser Forster, who's your number one target for the summer?
I gotta be honest. It has to be Kostic. I mean, watching him play and the need that we have at fullback, it's almost a dream. It's a dream pairing, in my opinion. And he would fit perfectly in our system. I think his crossing ability and his getting forward ability are just what we need. And he has to be better than Reguilon at finishing, right? I mean, he has to be, right?
I think there's no two ways about that. He's got a much better delivery and shot than Reguilon, that's for sure.
Yeah, so he's not going to be missing those sitters. But yeah, Kostic would be my number one. And I still think, I know we a lot of focus on fullbacks and maybe another backup striker, but we still struggle with the low block. We need a creative center midfielder, attacking midfielder that can see the lanes that the defenders can't cover. We need that. And
Eriksen.
If it's exactly, if it's I was gonna say if it's Eriksen, it's Eriksen. If it's I don't know who else. Basuma, who knows? I don't know. Someone to see the imaginary lines. But yeah, those would be my top signings.
All right. Big up, Ian. Thanks for coming on today, mate, and we shall speak to you soon.
Good to see you, Ian.
Good to see you guys.
Go you Spurs. Let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. Let's go to Mikey up next.
Yo,
Mikey,
what's up, guys?
Mikey, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good. I mean, I don't think we've ever got your opinion on the kind of Enic situation in the past. I mean, have you been Enic out, Enic in? I mean, what's your opinions on before this news?
I mean, you've never asked me, but I think my opinion on Enic is pretty much the same as Brian Daigle's, to be honest. It would be very severely critical of everything that they do, given. I mean, I wouldn't be as critical if it weren't for three factors. One, the fact that we went an entire year without spending a single penny on incoming players. Two, the Super League situation. And three, the fact that they sacked Mourinho 6-8 for a cup final. So before this news, they seem pretty incompetent to me. But I think Conte is unlike any manager they've had in the past 15, 20 years. He's so direct and he knows exactly what he wants to say and how he's going to say it. And it's hopefully secured us nine-figure sum to spend this summer.
Yeah, and it's an exciting announcement. Do you think there is potentially drawbacks maybe to announcing this publicly? You know, maybe other teams could see this and think Tottenham have more money than they do, and if they could pump the prices up and things like that. Or do you think it's good to show our ambition and announce that there has been that cash injection?
I think if they'd have just gone about, I think they could have. Obviously, there are different ways of going about it. I think doing it this way, maybe it's an appeal to the fans. I think that's what it is more than anything. It's not about them actually having the money, because regardless of the public announcement, they would have injected the funds, I'm guessing, at Conte's request. But announcing it like this is almost trying to reassure the fans that there is going to be investment this summer, rather than the topsy-turvy nature of Tottenham transfer windows of the past. So I think they're trying to reassure fans and say, look, there might be a little bit more of a premium put on players' heads if they know that we've got this money to play with. But at the same time, I think from them trying to get back in the fans' good books after the situation that's been over the past year, especially, but also before Conte, before Mourinho, it's a lead on from that, and I think it is just to reassure the fans that yes, we have the money. We're hearing you. Conte's going nowhere, and if he's been promised this money, I damn well hope that they actually spend it on players.
And on your kind of previous opinions on Enic, if this does come to fruition and we do spend the money and spend it in a good way, would your opinions on Enic change? Would you be back on board?
I'd have more respect for them, but I wouldn't necessarily view them any better. I'd have more respect for them for finally. I mean, it's not too late, but it's late enough to be considered. Where was it before? If you're promising this to a man now, where was this with Pochettino? But again, I think the Super League fiasco almost destroyed the foundations of football for the whole of Europe. So I don't think any club involved in that can fully forgive its board and its directors for its board of directors for that decision. So I'd say it would definitely give them more respect for finally, at long last, putting money into the club. But that Super League, the Super League project that they tried to run away with, they'll never fully have my trust back after that.
All right, Mikey.
All right.
Thanks for coming on, brother. We'll speak to you next time.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
See you later.
Nice one.
All right. Oh, the big caller next. Big caller next. Let's see what he has to say. Let's bring on George. George, long time no speak. How are you?
Evening, guys. Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, good. I mean, obviously, we've had a lot of discussions about Enic in the past. You've been very vocal about your opinions on them. What do you make out of this statement?
Yeah, look, it's a great first step. I think this is coming from a position where they, as in Enic and the ownership of the club, are now saying we've got to keep Conte, which is what we've been saying. I think this is a very public. It's a very public announcement that's saying to everybody, we want to back Conte, and now the ball is in his court. So hopefully this is enough. I don't think it's the be all and end all, but I think it's probably 80% of what he's looking for is to be financially backed, and to say that there's the best part of 150 million. And I was watching Alistair Gold's stuff yesterday, and I mean he seems convinced from his part and the sources that he's speaking to that the majority of this amount of money is going to be going towards the pitch. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope they're good to their word.
If you're looking at the statement if you're not a financial person, you're talking about it in layman's terms. Is it as simple as Tottenham and Enic have invested 150 million into Spurs, or is there more to it than that?
There's always more to it. I mean, from the statement that they've released, it's difficult to sort of really pick holes in it. But I mean, the main part of this is that they're saying that this is going to be a capital investment. So what they're saying here is that it's not they're not putting in a loan here, and there's not going to be any interest involved. So that they are effectively acquiring a greater part of the club. There's going to be an element of dilution of the voting rights for other minority shareholders, not by a significant amount. I mean, we know who carries the voting here, and it's Enic and Daniel Levy. But effectively, by doing this as a way of a capital injection, what we're saying is that it is within the club. So we're not saying that they're going to put it in and then next year they may ask for it back. So it's not going to be a similar situation to Abramovich's 1.7 billion, which is kind of sitting there and in theory is owed to him. This is a part of the company that they have acquired and is not as easily converted into cash as a loan would have been. So Enic, in theory, if they had put this money in as by way of a loan, that could have been on the basis that they could ask for it back whenever. This seems to be that they are committing 150 million here. And what you were saying earlier on this morning, Sim, about the previous cash that's been sort of outlaid, it's over the 20 years that Enic's been there. It's been so insignificant that it's the supporters really that have paid and have bankrolled Tottenham for this long. So it does seem to be a huge step forward to to taking the club at a crucial stage, which, let's face it, should have really been done about 5 seasons ago.
Let me ask you. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, you say, it's a step forward from Enic and it should have been done a long time ago. But will your opinions on Enic and Daniel Levy change going forward now?
Ryan hit the nail on the head this morning, and by saying that this has got to be continued. 150 million these days, as we well know, is not a huge amount of money. It will certainly put maybe 4 players into the squad. We don't know what the disposal of players is going to be, and what sort of a return we're going to get on those players. We now need to see that Enic are serious about Tottenham becoming a main player here in the Premier League and in Europe. That's what we're looking for. This is a good step, but it needs to be shown that we are going to be doing this on I'm not saying every other week, but certainly we need investment in the squad each season. You can't seriously sit back for 18 months, 2 years, not invest in any players and have any real expectation that you are really ambitious. I mean, that's not that's just sort of stringing us all along, and that's where I was coming from my disappointment. I felt as though I had been strung along. So let's see. The next 2 or 3 seasons, we need to invest in Conte. We need stability. We can't afford to be sacking managers every 15, 20 minutes. We need stability now in order to get us over this next step.
I want to just ask you about this line from the statement. It says, the investment represents permanent capital with no ongoing interest cost to the club, which may be drawn from trenches until the end of the year. Does that mean it has to be spent before the end of the year? What does it mean by until the end of the year?
Well, I guess this is going to depend again on the small print of minutes and meetings that they're going to have. So that they are bringing in this money. The money will be available within the company. It may be put into an isolated account, so a bank account may be set up where this will sit in, but it will be up to the board as to what happens if it's not spent in the year. I mean, I think if Antonio Conte's got anything to do with it, it is going to be spent within the year. I mean, we can all see that investment is desperately needed. But yeah, I mean, in theory, they could have some footnote to a meeting and agreed by the board saying that if this is not spent within 12 months, then it's going to be invested in, the grand example that everyone keeps giving of the golf course. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope that they are good to their word.
All right, George. Well, seems as though very exciting times ahead, but I guess we have to wait and see.
Too early to say if it's a new era, right?
Yeah,
too early.
It's a bit too early. We've got to let's have a look at this transfer activity, and of course let's have a look at the main commitment now. Here is Conte signing an extension to his contract. That would be the main key to this. So if we were to see that, I would say that we're on to bigger things. I've been away for a while. I just wanted to say thanks so much again, like everybody else has been saying to you guys, for all the content and everything you've been sort of giving us all this season. It's been very much appreciated, really interesting, and let's just hope the new season brings more success to We Are Tottenham TV.
Thank you very much,
Thanks a lot,
George.
George.
And thank you for the constant support over the year as well. It means a lot to us. So see you very soon.
Come on, you
Appreciate
Spurs.
it, George.
Come on, you
Come on.
Spurs. Always great getting George's insights. Let's go on to our next guest, a guy that, not so good at pool, but we'll bring him on anyway.
How dare you? What? How do you play me like that? I have a credibility in the pill scene to hold up. Oh, Fluka Modric over there.
Brains, man.
You'll pay
Brains.
for that, man. You'll pay. You'll pay big.
I'm looking forward to it, Brains. I'm looking
It's a
forward to
villain
it.
origin story right there.
And Barry in the comments says he's rubbish as well. But look, we don't have time to talk about Paul right now.
All right,
We
Barry, welcome to my shit list, all right? a whole lot of you.
we don't have time to talk about Paul, but look, you've seen the statement. What do you make out of everything that's going on today?
I mean, it's obviously, it's good, but it's like, I'm probably feeling the same way as like just about every Spurs fan who's been a fan of this club for the entire time, obviously, that Enic has been involved. So it's, what I think is that they've been backed into a corner. Like you know, I think it was it might have been, was it Stel or Dago, maybe even Danny Kariakou. He never says anything good, but he did say this. I'm just trolling. He said, you know, like Levy has backed himself into a corner here by getting Conte, because getting Conte, what if Conte does well? What if he makes us all believe again? Then what are you going to do? You have to back this guy or else you're a complete moron, right? So now Conte has done what we didn't think was possible this season, turned it all around. And now I can guarantee you Conte, his unwillingness to say whether he was actually going to stay, I think that was all, it was all a play to basically make sure that they were going to put down a hell of a lot of money. And so for me, looking at it, I'm probably thinking the same as you guys, is that 150, and like what George was saying there, 150 million is not anywhere near enough for what this squad needs. If you add that to a war chest that they were already going to give him, I don't think he was going to. If you said to Conte, yeah, cool, you got Champions League, here's 150 million. I think Conte would still be like, well, kiss my ass, bitches. I'm out the door. Like, there's no way, because you're right. Like, George is right. You can't get really that many players for that. And we don't just need 6. We need 6 world-class players, but we need about 8 to 11 new players. If we're really honest, if we're going to try compete on 2 different massive tournaments in a World Cup year, where everyone's going to just be stretched, you're talking about you need minimum 250 to 300 million to rebuild. Like that's and we don't have time to rebuild and do that kind of Pochettino thing. So genuinely, I think it was just absolute fear on Levy's side. So I think there is a pot of money already, and I think, like Ali Gold was saying, I think this is going towards that pot, and thank God for that. But you know what? Until the end of the window, like I still kind of don't really believe. It's just the trauma of all these years, you know.
But Brains, between 2010 and 2020, Spurs, the Enic injected about 15 million in that 10-year period into the club. Obviously now it's 150 million in one window, one fell swoop. Do you believe that this could potentially be a new era now for the ownership, or is it too fanciful to speak like that?
I think it's an astute business move. Obviously, it kind of increases their ownership. It values, like Sean Butler was saying, it values the club at around 7.5 billion. This is just, it seems like a really clever business move. And obviously now like what we all want to do is jump and go, oh my God, it's on, it's finally on, you know, which is exactly what, you know, so that they can't be to blame anymore and they can't look a fool. Like, let's be honest, Levy is an astute businessman. So is Lewis. Like, we know that they are like genuinely good at what they do. As fans, we just want the revenue from the stadium for this season, which is they were making £1 million per game just on beer, just beer. So if you add in the food, if you add in like ticket sales, if you add in sales of kits around the world, this is a rich club. We should have had around about 100 to 200 million already in a war chest from this season. So if it's a case of, yes, they're being very clever, They're very astute businessmen. If this is a killer move on their part to increase their ownership, to have more say, to basically be able to like just have their hands in this club for basically ever, because no one's going to come and buy a club for 7.5 billion. Fair enough. as long for me as you go ahead and you make this season count. Like you make this season and then you make the other window and then the other window, 3 or 4 windows of just us actually competing with the top 3 teams. And then I think it's finally time to go, look, well, you know, props to Levy for bringing Paratici, props for bringing in Conte. Then he backed him. All right, props. I don't think we can forget, but I still think you give props. If that's what's going to happen, if the end of this window, we actually got players like Kostic, we actually got players like Zielinski, or we got James Ward-Prowse, if we got the big names that we're kind of looking at and that we want, then I think you got to kind of go, all right, let's see where we go from here.
And if we do get those players over,
maybe take that banner down outside the ground just for a season then. Maybe.
If we do get those players this summer and we are going to be back like we're hearing, what do you think we can achieve next season? Can we go compete with the Man Cities or the Liverpools, or is that a bit too far fetched?
No, I don't think it's far fetched, because I genuinely believe, like, look what Conte did with this squad, and this was a light squad. This was like seriously light. You know, a couple of injuries, and we're at stages where we couldn't afford for one more player to get injured before we're starting to use teenagers. So look what he did with that, though. Look what he did to Ben Davies. Look what he did to certain players in his team. Even Sanchez looked like a different player when he came back in the last few games. So he's got that vibe. What can he do if you genuinely just gave him an actual squad of like world-beating, upcoming, like monsters, like Romero, Kulusevski, Bentancur? That's the bar now. Everything that we bring in now has to be above that level or above. If you give him like 2 teams, so I don't want Ben Davies to go after this season, but I want him to be in the team that plays the second team. You know, like, so if we build a second team which has Skip and Højbjerg playing every game, I'd be happy with that. And the 2 holding midfield positions, I'd be happy with that. But then I want, you know, Milinkovic-Savic. I want players to, like, on that level to come in and be the first teamers in the first team, you know? So I mean, but if you have the right money and you are scouting well, we can do that. And that's what I want to see next season. And then I think we could be winning an FA Cup. I think we could, obviously, I think a Carabaw's on the line, you know, fair enough. And then I genuinely want us to do well in the Champions League. And I want us to stay in it for the next season, but I want us to win the Prem next season. And I don't think if you give Conte his team, I don't think that's undoable. I think we can do that.
All right, so bring on Fraser Forster, everyone. Big up, Brains.
No, we don't get Fraser Forster and Jed Spence.
Big up, Brains. Thanks for coming on, mate. And we'll speak to you next time.
No worries, guys. See you.
See you soon.
Big up. Who have we got next? Oh, it's KPV.
Hello.
Carl, how you doing, mate?
I'm good. I thought you guys don't go live normally on this day.
We don't. It's a special day today. You've been coming on every stream saying Enic out, back Conte. Seems as though they're listening to you in terms of backing Conte. What's your opinion on the board now?
Opinion on the board? Well, it sounds like they're listening to all of us. Back Conte. Well, then, you want my trust? You've earned my trust. Finally, you're listening to what we've been saying over the last 7 months. Back Conte, and they're finally doing it. So, yeah, they earned my trust. So, thank God they're going to back him. So no more of the fingers then. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But next season, I'm still going to say if we, I don't know, whatever, lose at least 10 or 3, then I'm still going to say Enic out. But no more the fingers for now, though.
And what kind of players, what kind of level of players would you like to see through the door in the summer?
well, like everyone said, world class. I'd like Jed Spence from Forest. Jed Spence, he's done brilliant. I'd like world class players, as everyone's been saying. So 6 players, I'd say, world class, and we can actually achieve something. This guy has won everything where he's been, and we want, like, I've been asking everyone, what would you rather win, Premier League or Champions League? And I want the big one, so I'll probably say the Premier League. What would you guys want?
I'll take both. I'll take both, Carl.
Oh, well, yeah, so they're finally listening to what we've been saying the whole season. Back Conte, and they're finally listening. So, yeah, 6
Oh.
players in.
Do you reckon the money's enough for Conte, Kyle?
Come on, you know the answer to that. Hell yeah.
All right.
All right,
Yeah,
big
of
up,
course it
Carl. We've only got
Big
10
up.
minutes left of the stream, so we're going to try and filter through the guests. But thank you so much for coming on, Carl.
Nice one,
And,
Carl.
we'll see you next time.
I'll see you next time. Back
Big up.
Conte.
Big up. How many have we got left? All right. We got Michael on next. How you doing, Michael?
Fuck, I can. Got it.
He's cracking open the beers. He's enjoying himself. I'm guessing you're very happy about that statement, Michael.
Yes, of course. Well, you know, I'm cautious about it because, like, as you guys pointed out, it's said that it's an investment for like in and out the pitch things, right? Mm-hmm. So I struggle to believe that the whole of it will be consumed on transfers, right? But what I do believe is that we already had something prepared. Because, you know, before that statement, we all were guessing that at the best we would spend somewhere between 100 and 150 million. I guess this was like the best case scenario, right? And, you know, I personally think that, of course, you cannot rebuild a team with that kind of money. Our team, to be exact, right? We need at least like 10 players to be rivaling Liverpool and City. But what you can do with 150 million, assuming like some of that money from that statement goes into the transfers, some of that money that we will get from selling players, and some of it that we have saved up. So, you know, assuming we can actually spend 150, what you can do with it is like establish a good 11 players and some subs that can work their ass off for Conte. And I believe that, you know, it's just exciting. It's exciting to be a Spurs fan because, you know, of course we all jump on a bandwagon of, yeah, you know, we'll spend all of it on like the best players in the world. And,
Mbappe
you know, all
is
the
coming. Mbappe is coming.
Yeah, all the journalists start like giving you hints that, oh, this player is coming, this player might be linked with Spurs. I think like we need to take it a bit calmly. I know because I'm excited as fuck, but you know, I just don't want to be disappointed at the end. So I am cautious with this all because like you guys asked about Enic out or Enic in, right? What is the stance of your colors? But I personally haven't been like scarred by Enic because I didn't get to experience Pochettino not getting backed. Of course, I'm pissed about it because, like, you know, just hearing about it is making me mad. But I wasn't a fan back then, right? So,
but Michael, you know, they also sacked a fan favorite manager at halftime during a game.
Yeah, I've heard all the things that they did. So that's why, you know, I'm not full like Enic out because, as I said, personally, I didn't get to experience that, so you know it's hard to be mad for something that you weren't aware of.
Yeah, I get you.
Like back in the day, right? But you know, I'm also not like Enic in because I am aware of those things that happened. So you know, they can gain my trust as a new fan by backing Conte, but it's not only about this window. They also have to support him or whoever is next after him with something at least, right? We have to be like intelligent about those transfers, and like the best thing that could happen next season for me would be if in April or May next year we heard that Conte extended his contract. That would be the best thing for me, and whatever else happens is just a bonus for me, because I believe that this man can reform this club from the whole, like from the bottom to the top. And this is a good start. If this money is going to be spent on transfers, then I'm all for it. And just I want to be impressed, and of course I will just go on Transfermarkt and check out what can we buy for 150 million, right? Yeah,
Open up the Football Manager.
I'm cautious with it. I'm cautious with this whole thing, but I'm prepared to be astonished. I'm expecting something to happen, but cautiously, as I say. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Michael, we are running out of time a bit. We have 5
Yes,
minutes left, but I appreciate your call as always. Thanks for coming on. And look, it's set for a very exciting summer, so let's get ready for it. Strap in.
Yeah, I'm strapped in already.
All right, nice one.
Big up, Michael. Thanks for coming on.
See you guys.
Mate.
See you later. Just a couple guests left. Brandon Troller, son of Conte. Bring him on.
Bring him on. Is it time? No more.
No more clowns in the club. No more clowns in the club. Get them out of here. Done.
So, Brandon, talk me through your feelings after reading that statement.
I don't give credence to lies until they've been proven. Otherwise, I mean, you want to be innocent until proven guilty, of course, but they've been proven guilty time and time again on this debauchery. And so, you know what? I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I'm just glad that Antonio Conte is still a beautiful, beautiful man that claims to be the manager of Tottenham. That's the number one thing we need to get through the door. I mean, all these signings mean nothing to me if we don't have Conte. I mean, this is the most important transfer window that we're about to have in the history of Tottenham in the Premier League area. I mean, never before have we had someone of Conte's caliber up in the big seat. And I can't wait for what's ahead if we convince him that this is the project that he needs to invest the next year or two of his career into.
Well, is this money being invested, or injected, not a sign that surely there's money for him to spend this summer? And if there is, what reason would he have to leave?
If it happens, there's none. But again, it's an if. Like Fraser Forster is a world-class backup keeper. That's a good step in the right direction. Seriously, it's actually, I think, potentially a very important signing. If something were to happen to Lloris this season, would you have trusted Pierluigi Golini in goal? No, never. He's a
good cheerleader, Golini.
What?
He's a good cheerleader.
Oh my God! I mean, give him pom-poms. Give him a pair of pom-poms. Don't give him a pair of soccer boots. Football boots. But yeah, no. I mean, Fraser Forster. That's a great first step. But it's a tiny little step on a big set of stairs that we got to climb to be able to compete with Man City and Liverpool in a season or two. Newcastle. I mean, Arsenal's always going to be doing their thing over there. Let them do their dance. Project. Get out of here. I mean, it's the type of thing. Again, you can't take too much stock in it until you see the pudding. It's McKinney, Tielemans, or Barella in center mid, right? Maybe even two of them. Who knows what's going to happen with Højbjerg? I hope we keep Højbjerg, but the rumor mills abound saying maybe not. And then you need a Bastoni, a Gvardiol, or someone of that caliber in center defense. You need at least one attacker, whether it's Martinez or who it might be. You need Kostic. There's no other player to go for left wing back. For Conte's system, Kostic is he's the cream of the crop. He's the primavera. Oh my God, you need him.
What about Perisic?
Yeah, Perisic is an all right backup option, but you need Kostic. I'm telling you, you need Kostic. Kostic is 4 years younger than Perisic as well. Keep that in mind. I mean, it's not just about next season. If we get Kostic and at least instill this sort of system into the club, Kostic could be a very, very important servant for at least 3-4 years of his career. Whereas Perisic, you got maybe 1-2 left, and I would love Kostic. So I don't know. I'm sure many people have said the same thing. They're going to be screaming the same thing for the next few months until we make it happen. But get Kostic, get one of those guys in the midfield, get one of those guys in the
center defense, and get us an attacker and hopefully a right wing back too. I mean, we have a long laundry list to tend to, and it's going to take a lot of work. And we've seen from the Amazon documentary, Tottenham aren't exactly trigger fingered in the back room, so we'll see.
If he does get backed Brandon this summer to a high degree and get a lot of the targets in that we need to propel us onto where we need to get to, what would your opinion on the board be then?
I would say thank you. Give credit where it's due, and that's about it. I mean, look, if they can, I believe that people deserve as many second chances as they need, right, in this life. Daniel Levy, here's your 50th second chance. Go make the best out of it, please. Come on, for all of our sanity's sake. If we were to lose Sir Antonio Conte, because of your nonsense, oh my God, it would be there would be riots in the street, and they wouldn't just last a day. Brian Daigle would be out there screaming with a pom pom, being a cheerleader for Levy out all day, every day, and it would be deserved. But you know what? Here's to a new Tottenham, hopefully, and here's to a brand new Daniel Levy.
Big up, Brandon. Thanks for coming
Brandon.
on.
Great call as always, mate.
We'll speak to you soon.
Take care.
All right, and we're moving on to our final guest of the day, and expect some fireworks. It's Mr. Alex. Alex.
Well, I'm just going to get straight into it. Because people need to go home, and it's getting late. All right, straight into it. By the way, we got fourth, but we did that 3 years ago, so we're back to the position that we were 3 years ago. Well done. Still bang average though, aren't we? Without Harry Kane and Son. Let's move on.
I'm sure, Alex, you've been saying all season that we're not going to get fourth.
Yeah, well, we're bang average. You know what I mean? It's default. It's by default. We got that position. Yeah, well done. Conte actually did a miracle. By the way, absolute miracle. Absolutely fantastic miracle, by the way. But like I said, by default we got the top four, and don't count Arsenal in that because, like I said, they're bang average. Honestly, no wonder they're where they're at the moment. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, isn't it? At the end of the day, so that's the first point. Uno one. Number two. Number two. Now we announced we've got 150 million pounds, and that's really good. But where was I sitting there thinking, oh, you got 150 million pounds, extra 10 million to that player, by the way, extra 10 million to another player, and the free transfers as well. Oh, that's a free transfer, all right. The player's sitting there thinking, oh, you know what? You can add a little bit zeros to my paycheck as well. You know what I mean? That's adding to the money as well there as well. And now we get to my favourite subject, number three. Point number three, Prodigy. That people say he's a Don when he's not a Don. People keep on saying that he should do all the deals. Need to go back to Juventus, who was doing the deals there, by the way. Rotta was doing the deals, and when he left, it fell off at Juventus because he's a head scout. Yeah, he got lucky, like I said, getting those two rejects in, by the way. Yes, they've done well. Kulo's done better than Moira all day long. So I'll stick by that as well. Bentancur's done well as well, but he still can do more until next season. Romero's world class, but he's bought him to other clubs already. So I'm not going to give him. He was defender of the year last year as well. Romero's world class, 100%. I've bantered Arsenal fans already, so I can do that again.
Paratici deserves credit for that.
Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, until next season. Because, like I said before, when Conte leaves, he won't have a clue what to do because he didn't have a clue last summer. So that's my point. You know what I mean? Like I said before, when Marotta left Juventus, it fell out like a stone at Juventus. Because he was the main man. Marotta, and that's it. And I'll do it on my channel to show it as well, because people completely forget that point as well. Uno number four. Point number four. Let's look at it from there. We played one game a week after we got knocked out and got embarrassed in the Europa Conference League, which I still can't forgive them for, to be honest with you. I cannot forgive them for, because we should have done better in it. You know what I mean? Because that's another trophy that we was moaning about, saying, "Oh, we haven't got a trophy."
Yeah, it wasn't our fault we were got knocked out there, was it?
Oh, we haven't got a trophy, or we need a trophy. We need a Carabao Cup, which is not a major cup, because we've done that how many times? We've done it in 2008. We've done that in 1998. What do we do afterwards? Nothing. Anyway, moving on. And then we talk about Sol Campbell moving on. What did he do after he left Tottenham, by the way? I know it's a sore subject, but what did he do? Oh, he went to Arsenal and got the Invincibles and won the trophies as well. prove another point, and why Harry Kane and Son. Another point on Son, because everybody's getting a bit angry about Son. Number 5 point, number 5. Right, Son. Yeah, everybody's going on about, why is he not the PFA Player of the Year? Why is he not considered? I wonder why. Because he's not won no trophies. That's why. Yeah, he's a good player. He's a fantastic player. We're not saying he's not a world-class player. He's the reason why we're doing well. We've got
So
support,
why was Conor
Right, he's the
Gallagher?
reason
Why was Conor Gallagher nominated, and why was
Because
Declan Rice nominated?
Because look at look what they've done. They nearly won Europa League. West Ham nearly embarrassed us this year. They nearly embarrassed us. They nearly best Arsenal as well. To be
Yeah,
fair,
but
as well.
nearly means nothing.
But at the end of the day, they nearly embarrassed us. You know what I
What
mean?
about Crystal
and that cannot
Palace?
happen next season. That cannot happen next season. You know what I mean?
And
As
what
far
about
as I'm
Conor Gallagher
concerned.
then?
Well, like I said, he's potential. He's potential at the end of the day. So that's the thing. But I get
But is
your
he better
point.
than Son?
But
Is
the
he
point
playing
is
better
that
than Son?
Son's been doing it for how many seasons? But he hasn't won anything. The same thing with Kane. That's why Kane wasn't recognised last season. Even though he had all those assists and all those goals scoring, he didn't win nothing last season. And that's the thing with Tottenham. And the thing is, though, until he wins the Premier League, like I said before, I'm sticking to the point that I said before with you a couple of months ago. I'm not changing my point on that. I know I said Champions League a couple of years ago, but who's our manager? Mourinho. We got Mourinho in the Champions League. And we got rid of Pochettino because we were worried about Champions League. Look what happened. We tried to get Pochettino back, which is what I said, by the way, that time, but we have to move on. You know what I mean? So let's get on to number 5, because everybody needs to go home now, don't they? Why is it Aston Villa are buying their players already? Why have we not got our players in already, by
Getting
the way?
Fraser Forster.
Yeah, we signed Fraser Forster,
Oh,
mate.
yeah, but why is the players not... Why is Conte... Right, because the thing is, though, it was an overachievement getting Europa League this season. It was an overachievement. So why is it they haven't confirmed him back in already? Why does it have to take them to go over to Italy when he's on holiday to make the point of him to confirm that they're going to back him? Why have they not done that before? That's a club that is in control at the end of the day.
Season only finished 3 days ago.
Yeah, but teams like Leicester City are doing it beforehand, mate. They're doing it beforehand. You know what I mean? If you're thinking about actually doing something next season, and Conte said to him, "I want them before pre-season," because he hasn't confirmed he wants to go, because he wants to stay. Because that post-match interview wasn't him confirming he wanted to stay. He didn't confirm it. He did not confirm it. That was quite guaranteed from that interview. You can see it straight away. You know what I mean? So, like I said, that needs to be sorted as well. I granted, Alistair Gold said what he said, and I respect him as a journalist. He's a fantastic journalist, and I respect him very highly. But the point is, why have they not confirmed it before? They knew they're lucky to even have him in the building in the first place. So why have they not done it? You know what I mean? So that's another point as well. So I mean, that's all my points at the end of the day. And and the thing is, though, there's still a long way to go as far as I'm concerned. Next season is going to be a very, very tough season. We couldn't do it with 2 games a week last season in the Conference League last season. Yeah, and after FA Cups, after Carabao Cups, we didn't do well in the next matches, didn't we? Now let's see what happens next season. You know what I mean? The thing is, though, that winds me up about what I hear about us being in Champions League and Europa League. If some player wants to just come to Tottenham because of Champions League, I don't want you at Tottenham, by the way. I don't want you at Tottenham. I want you to come to Tottenham because you want to come for Tottenham, not because we're in Champions League because it looks attractive to you because it's Champions League, and that's it. Because at the end of the day, what happens when we're not in Champions League? Are you going to be interested? No, you're not. That's why I didn't want Dybala. Because I sit there and think, well, if you're not interested in Tottenham, I'm not interested in you, mate. You're here because you want to play for Tottenham. Granted, I like the attitude of Kulusevski and Bentancur. You know what I mean? You know what? Maybe I'm a bit harsh saying they're rejects because Arsenal got the ultimate reject in Odegaard. You know what I mean? For Arsenal, because look how many teams he's gone to. You know what I mean? And they've passed the opportunity on him. You know what I mean? So maybe I'm a bit harsh on saying that. But at the end of the day, I want players that want to play for Tottenham at the end of the day, and that's it. And that's simple as that. And so that's all I need to say on it, really. And I'll leave it there with you guys. If you want to say anything, that's it, really. Oh yeah, another thing as well. Why have we not got a scatter network? Sorted out already? By the way, I thought this was supposed to be sorted already. You know what I mean? So
Didn't they bring one in at the back end of the season? Some sort of scouting recruitment or something? Scouting head scout or something?
I remember hearing that.
I'm still hearing that they're still yet to sort it. I'm still hearing that they're yet to sort it.
Paratici was going to bring in a number 2.
Yeah, I thought didn't Paratici bring in a number 2, or he's about to bring in a number 2 or something?
Yeah,
well, I haven't heard anything. I'm still hearing that he hasn't sorted out his scouting network yet, still, which is a bit of a shock to me. But you know, at the end of the day, like I said, and I will finish it with this because I've said this on my channel. If you want to watch my channel, it's up to you. You know what I mean? But I've said this on my channel, so I'm being consistent. My credit will be with I've got a lot of credit for Prodigy, for Conte, because the things that he's done with this squad is absolutely a miracle as far as I'm concerned. Because I go back to what I did. I saw I sat in the Carabao Cup after the Carabao Cup second leg. I said, you know, it's a miracle if we do anything for this season. Yeah, I've said that. My credit will be after when Conte leaves, if Prodigy keeps the strategy that Conte's got, because like I said before, Conte's come to this club and he's been quite frank, and I think Alistair Gold said it, he's been quite frank with Daniel Levy and saying, you need to do things better now. You know, this is the way you do things, not the way you're doing it previously. You need to do things better. Now, if we don't learn from Antonio Conte, that will be the failure of Tottenham. That will be the failure of not having Conte at Tottenham. As far as I'm concerned, you know what I mean? Because if you're not listening to a winner like Antonio Conte and how he does things and how he's achieved things in the past, where are we going with this? And that's where we'll end up like teams like Everton this season. You know what I mean? And that's it. So I'll leave it there because I know you lot need to go to bed now and go home now. You know what I mean? So and that's it. So if you want to say anything, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there.
Big up, Alex.
Alex, good to have you on as always, mate. Good to
see you at the games throughout the season, mate. And see you again next season, mate.
Yeah, big up to you guys. Big up to you guys. Yeah, great guys. Have a good time. Yeah.
Nice one, Alex. Have a good one.
You too. I think there are a few super chats to get through before we go.
Yeah, one from Brandon saying, always respect Sonny Boy or Sir Conte. Will pasta bomb ya. What a season, fellas. Thank you, Ben and Tim, for everything. Y'all are the GOAT. Come on, you Spurs. Big up to you,
Come on, Brandon. And yeah, there was another one somewhere, but
yeah,
it's probably lost now. But yeah, thank you. Oh, I've got them here. Sandrew saying, is there any truth to the rumours of Lewis's daughter taking over Joe and running Enic day to day? Saw this mentioned on Twitter. Also, she was at the Norwich game. I'm not sure about that. But
I did hear it. I did hear that, but I don't know.
I heard a few murmurings, but nothing concrete or anything like that. Craig Griffiths, member for 8 months, says, thanks for the money, but what's the catch, Mr. Levy? I guess we'll find out, won't we?
There's always a catch of Levy,
I guess we'll find out. But look, thank you all the guests for coming on. Thank you everyone for watching today. We'll be back tomorrow with some season review content, and obviously the final Premier League perspective will be with you tonight as well. So thank you everyone for watching. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.